I'm Amanda Pritchard. I work in the Office of Information Technology, and I'm the Assistant Director of Technology Experience and Innovation. And I'm joined today with Katie Willis, who is our project coordinator, who we owe many kudos to for helping to market and communicate and plan today's event so that this could happen and we could bring this tool to you all on campus and be able to share it with you. So thank y'all so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and just get started. We have a lot to share with you today. And the first thing I thought, first, I would love to do a poll just to get a little bit of feedback from you all based on your experience, your knowledge, your preference even for working with videos. If we can launch that first poll, I'll be able to get some answers from y'all. Biggest challenge that you're facing with video editing. So I know that that can vary from individual. If you have a challenge that is really hindering you from being able to pull together some videos, go ahead and submit that answer choice so I can get a feel as to kind of what people are thinking and feeling. So right now, strong opinion at their lack of technical skills. Some getting some time constraints, not too much. So good, y'all have free time. That's great. I will start forwarding to you emails that I have not responded to yet. Thank y'all for taking that on. I appreciate that. One of the last ones there is difficulty in achieving that professional quality. Like sometimes you just struggle with what is it going to look like? What's the end product? And yeah, I get it. You don't want to waste your time on something unless it's actually going to look good, right? That's completely fair. So great. Thank you for answering those. That's really helpful for me to kind of understand. Well, let me be the first to assure you, you have the technical skills to be able to use this tool. You are fully capable, fully qualified to be able to use it. I was playing around with it a lot yesterday and pulled together some quick content. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a video that I put together briefly yesterday. So let me pull that up and share screen so you can take a look and listen to this video that was 100% created in Clipchamp. I want to show you what it's capable of doing to hopefully build some excitement for the things that you're going to learn today. All right, here it goes. I'm going to pause it right there. What do y'all think? Do you think that looked professional enough? Something that would be exciting. Hopefully you enjoyed following along with that just little snippet, that little piece of video. That was put together in maybe 30 minutes. That I did. And trust me, I am no video editing professional by any means. I have used tools before, so I do think that makes my adoption of this tool a little bit easier, but I have not used this particular tool extensively. So I am absolutely here to reassure you that this is something that's going to be beneficial and helpful to you for making those quick videos. So some of the things that I have on this screen, I paused the video because we're going to be doing this presentation and demo from the actual platform so that you can see it, see everything behind the scenes of how I created things, how to make those adjustments. But I want to call your attention to this part in the video, just with these highlights of what this tool can do. It is very user-friendly. I was showing my kids it the other night. This drag and drop and being able to move and manipulate really helps simplify that process of putting in your clips and adjusting your media. If you've ever had that hesitation of where am I going to get great pictures, good quality images, that was part of the thing in the poll that we just did. Where are you going to get these professional things from? It's got a stock library. It already has everything there for you so you can pull, but that doesn't mean you can't also add to it. So you'll be able to add to that library, add to any of that media if there's something kind of eccentric that you might want to highlight. This is going to be, I think, the most exciting part of the presentation. We've saved the best for Katie to present on, and that's the text to speech. So raise your hand if you think you might ever have a use case of If you have a documentation, and you can use the raised hand feature here, I want to see these hands. If you ever think you have documentation or information already typed up and you don't want to do that voiceover, but you want to be able to communicate that to people in a video format, maybe put it together with some images, put it together with some content, right? Yes. Okay. I see a few hands, not as many, but we're going to sell you on it, I promise, by the end of this session, because I think it's an incredible tool that's going to benefit so many people at the university. It's amazing. And it can generate it very quickly for you. Another key function that we're going to really heavily hit is the way that videos export. If you've worked with videos often, you do note that sometimes it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of bandwidth of your machine to be able to download a large video file, upload it, and share it. If you have used OneDrive, y'all, if you have used OneDrive at all to share files, you are going to be able to share files perfectly with using Clipchamp. Okay, it's the same platform, same technique. It's just the click share a link. Doesn't that sound like a lifesaver? I'm really excited about it. And then again, just collaboration. Katie and I are both logged into the same video, looking at it, and we'll be playing with it together today. So absolutely super excited to show you this. So for now, I'm going to shrink down out of the video preview screen so that you can see the platform itself. This is Clipchamp. So I'm going to move ahead real quick just to give y'all a little preview. And I'm going to actually zoom back in and may have to mute it. So accessing Clipchamp, that's probably what everyone wants to know. This tool is a little bit different in that it's completely browser based. It's not something that you install to your desktop. It is just something that you use on the web. So I wanted to show y'all, and let me see here. So forgive the music. Sorry, Katie. I'm going to show you in this little video format a quick screenshot of where you can go. If you've done these sessions with me before, we go to office.com for everything because all your tools are included in that one site. You're going to select the upper left waffle, and from there, that's where you're going to be able to preview all of the tools that are available. Clipchamp is purple, so we kind of went purple themed today, and that's where you would go to open up your videos. So if you're one of those that really loves to follow along, you want to kind of see what it looks like, see how it works, then you absolutely can follow along and open up a video file and play with it. Okay, so feel free to do that. I do see a question asking if there's a limit to the length of the video. I'm going to say it varies by if you're adding a lot of information, if you're adding to the video, or if you're recording. The recording length is limited to 30 minutes. So if you are doing a live recording, it would limit it to that time frame. Okay, we'll go ahead and continue on. So why would I use this, right? There's got to be a purpose for this. And I think that, Blake, we may have another poll coming up too, but I jotted down a couple of ideas of why you might want to use this tool. And I'm sorry, this just makes me feel like Star Wars. I know, it's okay. Hold on, I gotta go back. It's so exciting. It's brilliant. I can say that I made it. I'm sorry. Okay. It's so fun and such an easy tool to use. So purposes, reasons that you may want to use this tool. Educational videos, right? Maybe you're training your staff on something. Maybe it's just a general tutorial. Maybe you're using it for students in a classroom setting and you need to do a quick demo, just like I did with that screenshot. Social media, this is perfect for it. If you are one of those that is either a novice at social media, or if you're just wanting to kind of enhance some of that social media presence, great for social media. Any of your personal projects. I put together some old family videos that my dad had and was able to do that in Clipchamp, put them together and edit them very quickly. He thought I was brilliant. The technology did it. Training videos like this. We just posted one on our YouTube about Copilot and the changes there. And then you'll see from earlier in some of these clips, and I'm going to go back and forth because I'm showing you how this tool works, okay? But you'll see some of these clips here. This was an event highlight from an event that we did with Delbus. easily able to incorporate that in there and put it in kind of like a little collage. Okay. So those are some general use cases in case you're attending this and you're like, I've never made a video. I don't really know why I would use one. Blake, help me out. What is our next poll? Because I want to make sure I don't forget to launch those.
Would you want your videos to be improved?
Excellent. Perfect timing. Would you please launch that one? And
Yep.
I want you to think about, audience, as you're thinking about, again, so kind of why would I use this? Whether you have made a video, watched a video, what are some things that you have seen in videos that you're like, I wish this could be better. I wish this could be a little bit different. For me, it's, yeah, graphics. Oh, accessibility. Brilliant. I love y'all. Those top two answers. Amazing. Okay, great. Better transitions, smoother, quality audio. I love that. I mean, if you've done any of my sessions with me before, big music fan, love music. It is my life. I have it going all the time. And even if I'm just walking around campus, there's probably a theme song playing in my head to something that I'm walking to. So yes, better music, graphics, closed captioning. We're going to show you that today. UTD content, can't help you with that because this one doesn't necessarily have UTD specific, but y'all, the more we make, the more we're going to get it out there. So excellent. Voice over video, we've got that. That's going to be here. Aesthetics throughout, you can kind of change it. I deliberately created the video today to kind of highlight several different aspects that you can use just so that you could see. But this is brilliant. I love your ideas of how you want your videos to be improved. And I think that this is a tool that's going to achieve almost all of these. So this is great. Security, graphics. Okay, branding. Oh, this actually has a brand kit where you can upload your branding so that everything is consistent. So excellent. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Feel free if you want to continue answer. We'll be looking at those later as well, but that's really helpful for me to understand why you would use this and what you're wanting to achieve. So Clipchamp is awesome. We talked about for these purposes. Go ahead and go on. And I'm going to escape out of this so that you can see the platform for yourself and we can kind of walk through this together. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down poll. This is just a quick poll. Give me a thumbs up if you've used a video editing tool before. If you've used some sort of a video editing tool, anything. It doesn't have to be a Microsoft product, any type of tool. And then you can use the little thumbs down option too if you never have. So I'll do that quick poll. Excellent. It looks like most people have. That helps me. Then what you're looking at, even if you haven't, it's okay. We're still going to cover this, but that helps me to understand kind of where people are coming from. Even if you haven't used it, or if you have, you can see that this is your timeline. This is where your images, your video, any of the media that you're going to be incorporating is going to be stored on this timeline. And it goes from left to right. So this is the content that I displayed at the beginning, right? This is the little clips that you saw in that video. You can see there's music added here, and this just goes throughout the video. And I've added a ton of different clips so that I can be able to show y'all some different ways to use this. So what you can do is you can grab your little timeline marker here and drag it wherever you would need to go to edit any information. Okay, so up here is what the video will look like to the audience. This is where you're going to be, you can add your images to the timeline, but this is where you would be tweaking some of the things that you might want in that video. So I'm going to navigate just a little bit here and go through a couple of these options because I thought it would be easiest to show you from the timeline here and be able to show you how you can do this within Clipchamp. I think if you've used any kind of video tool, it does look pretty similar to what's already out there, okay? Pretty similar that you have your options here on the left, your toolbar, and then you've got your timeline here and the actual content up at the top. So to modify any of this, it's pretty simple. Like if I wanted this to be a smaller picture over to the side, if I wanted to, oh, Katie, we're sharing it, so it's going to refresh for just a second. It's fine. Again, browser-based system, so slightly different than other systems here. but since we're both on it, it's absolutely fine. But over here is where if you did want to kind of modify, insert media, that's where you could do it. Same thing with text. It's as simple as just adding in the text that you want. Let me first cover a little bit of these graphics here. This is the media on the far left side that you would be able to input into this. So we've got their stock videos, which has a couple of quick generic videos. If those are videos you don't like, you were really able to upload media. And here is my media kit up here. It looks like a little file folder. That's everything I have saved according to this video clip in Clipchamp. So everything is here in my folder. If I want to reuse it, I can. You've got stock videos that you can use and stock images that you can use if you're just not wanting to have to go and search all over for a bunch of new media types, right? In addition, it does have some graphics. And so if you do want to use any of theirs, you can see right here in my timeline, I did use a graphic. Now, one thing that Katie and I found in testing is that these graphics are the color that they are. You can kind of change the hue, the saturation, that sort of thing, but you can't just automatically just change those colors. Now, I do want to preface, I see this is saying in the chat too, Clipchamp just came out, like very, very recently. Since it's come out, even just this week, we've already been notating changes and adjustments, enhancements. So what we're seeing today, we wanted to be able to show you as soon as possible as it was released so that you can utilize this and be able to start playing with it. And absolutely, I do see in the chat that it's young and it's going to continue to enhance. I actually met with the Clipchamp development team in Chicago at Microsoft over the summer, and they were showing me some of the things that they have that are on NDA that are going to be coming out, and it's going to continue to grow. Funding and energy is going to be going to this tool to help enhance it. So if you do have ideas and you're thinking like, man, I wish it had this, it might be already on their roadmap. So don't worry. Okay, there's your graphics, and here are your transitions. I won't show you every single one. I am going to show you how to add these things just so that you can see. So this is giving you, when you hover over it, it gives you a little preview of it. One thing to make note is your media here down in your timeline has to be touching for there to be a transition to happen. Okay, so if you did want to transition, you see I'm just dragging and dropping where there's a plus sign. And you can, and there it added that transition. It was that simple just to be able to drag and drop. If you don't like and see this one right here is not touching. So if I needed it to touch, you can see by dragging it, it creates that purple line. It's now touching, so I can add a transition. But if it's not touching, it doesn't allow you to. But you can drag and drop. I feel like that's the easiest way to be able to add those things, and you just put it on right there. And if you don't want to drag and drop, you can add different transitions too by clicking or being able to delete them by right clicking if you don't like those things. It's the same thing with those images. Let's see, we'll pull up some dice here. You can pull an image and just add it to that timeline. And the way that this tool works, we'll go back over here, give it a second. So you see I've added these two images on top of the video, which means they're going to show on top of my existing items. So you can, what's the neat feature I like about this is if you did have multiple features that maybe you wanted to highlight, you could adjust and be able to resize them according to however you wanted to preview. Maybe pictures from an event, you could make that kind of photo collage and be able to layer them all there together and kind of show off a little bit. Okay, so that is, let's see, we went over media, we went over transitions. Let's go over text too, really quick. Again, hopefully when you're looking at this, you're seeing it and thinking, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too complex. And so if you do need to have some time to edit text, you can add your text over here. I tried to keep, just for y'all's sake, as similar text as possible, but you can go through here and pick a different stylized text if you wanted to. You simply can select to add it to your timeline. So you'll see next to my timeline marker it added this little option, which I have to hover over it to be able to see it. Once my timeline marker is on it, then I can see back here, which again, that's not a font color I would choose for this. So if I don't like that, it's simply click on it. We can change that color to something that we would prefer. And you can also change your font. If you wanted a different font, you can change the size just from this quick drop down. It also has different positions and some more options too. If you like the transitions between images and graphics, you can do that same type of transition by allowing it to fade in and out with your text. So as you're building these overlays, if you're doing instructional videos and you're trying to point out things, you could easily arrange as misspelled. Did I do that? Probably. Was it me? It's it me. Okay. Thank you.
Also,
See?
Amanda, there's a
Yeah.
question in the chat. Can multiple pictures be added at the same time?
It's since you're dragging one at a time, you can it's just a drag one at a time. Right now, you can upload multiple files into your media package. Absolutely. And so, anyways, you can upload multiple files, but otherwise it's drag. And one thing, Blake, I'm so glad you asked that because I did forget. Let's say I have this picture of tiles or dominoes. I don't really like it. And I found a different picture I'd like to use. I can drag from up here and be able to hover that and replace that picture too. So it's a nice, quick, easy punch to be able to make those transitions for you right away. Okay. Let's see here. So we went over that. What would I use? Okay. Oh, there it is. Bam. Look at y'all. Solving lives, fixing problems, arrange. I told y'all I made this very quickly last night. It was truth. Y'all know me. It was truth. But you can see how much you're able to produce in just a short time. It obviously didn't spell check that for me. Okay, so arranging clips. If you're familiar with the little scissors, that is to split. So let's say you have a really long video and you're only wanting to take little segments out. You could be able to use that split to cut it into different segments. You could take your timeline marker here and be able to split. So let's say I want it, actually, let's get it right here so that I can see that there's a clear division there. You're able to split it, so that's going to bring it into now two different media clips, so that if I wanted to do a fade, if I wanted to do text over this, if I wanted to do whatever, I could quickly split those two files into separate entities, and I could rearrange them too by just dragging and dropping. And it will tell you up here, I've got 12 seconds gap now. So at whatever you're moving items on your timeline, it's going to tell you exactly where that falls. And it's going to let you know that there's nothing happening right here for that 12 seconds. Okay, so that's just how you split and be able to move. Again, if I want something to take precedence on my timeline, I just drag and drop it up. Drag and drop it wherever you want it. And so it's really easy to create those layers of information of what you want. First is going to show on that top layer. Can split be used to cut out a piece of video? Absolutely. You can cut it out and say, I don't want this to this. Let's say I didn't want our logo here, our icon. Well, I could use this little clip and say, this is the section I don't want. I could hover over it and I could remove it. I could delete it. I could just remove the audio if I wanted to, but you can segment out those little pieces. So you could get that exact segment that you're wanting to and be able to split that. So yes, absolutely. Great questions. Keep them coming. I'll try to keep watching. Okay, so we did trim. So trim was just a simple, if you've done any social media videos on your phone, it's probably very similar to what you've seen on your phone with these little edits. Trim can be as simple as just dragging and dropping to whatever section you want. So if I wanted this picture for only a few seconds, I could have it right here and just have it play for a few seconds as opposed to play the entire time. That's as easy as it is to trim those videos. Okay, so we'll pull that back just so I don't forget what I'm doing here. Okay, arrange, trim, split, and delete. Delete is super easy. You just click it. And I honestly, y'all, I love this the using my media, I love this drag and drop of just being able to replace it, replace those images. Right now it's a video. So let's see here. There we go. Be able to replace it and just get a preview of, maybe I want something different. What does that look like? Okay, I don't like that one. Then I can just drag and drop it again and come up with a totally different look and feel and be able to get that just absolutely instantaneously. Okay. So we talked a little bit about text, but I want to go more into it here. Let's see here, text over here. So when I'm on something, if you double click it too, it's going to help go to that location in the timeline. See how this, watch that green option change. So it's letting me know exactly what part of the media I've selected, and it's telling me within that timeline how to navigate to that. So if I do upload video, I can remove that sorry audio behind it if you don't want it, or if it's got a lot of background noise, you can absolutely remove that. We'll go in here to look at the different text. I showed you how you can edit it up here. If you do want additional editing, I noticed this with my font when I put it in. I was able to do some things, but I wanted a little bit more. And so we went in here, you can go in, you can change alignment color. But if you go into advanced, this is where it's going to allow you to adjust that line height, the spacing. If you would want an outline, or if you wanted shadowing, anything to that effect, you could go in here and see, hold it up. I will say, there it goes. Just had to click it. So you can change those details live. And again, it makes those changes instantaneously. Okay. So I think I'm going to draw attention to, I saw in the chat too, I knew somebody was going to ask if it would replace Camtasia. So thank you, Matthew. You were right on track here. It's different than Camtasia. It's not a replacement. This is just a Microsoft's option for you. I will say there's some features in here I like that are better than Camtasia, and there's some features in Camtasia that I like better than Clipchamp, just being completely candid with everyone. It is different. It's a different tool. I would say you use Clipchamps for shorter, smaller videos, especially for social media. Camtasia is specifically designed for education purposes. So you're using a lot more of the kind of the highlight or directional tools to a screenshot, to sharing a screen, to drawing people to navigate to a particular place on your screen. This is a little bit different. This is more for that graphic experience of those quick, eye-catching videos, if that helps put it into a little bit of clarification there. It's also different than Camtasia in that it's web-based. So for me, I have a large team. When they're editing videos, it's very challenging for us to collaborate on a video without them having to export it, upload it to OneDrive, share the OneDrive link. It's a multi-step process. Here, which draws me to this next point, to share your video, let's say I've finalized, we've made all of our edits, I can go to share, and here's the option to share. It's going to pull up, as promised, this is exactly the same interface that you see in OneDrive. It's going to highlight information, you can share it to an individual. There's Katie, she already has it. It's going to show you who has access to it. You can write an email. You can change the settings in here if you want them to just view it. So again, if my team needs to see it, or if they need to edit it, or whatever permissions you want. Same kind of permissions that you've got in OneDrive. So for me, this is so much easier to be able to share those short social media videos than Camtasia has been for our team. Now, Camtasia, I will still be a diehard user for long training such as these, for editing videos like that. For the longer ones, I think that adds a lot of value. However, this one, that share capability, the quick drag and drop, I can't tell you how many times I've had to, in Camtasia, zoom really close into my timeline to try to get those transitions to fit just right and have to quickly modify. This one doesn't seem to be as persnickety as Camtasia. It's a little bit less sensitive when you're going in and trying to maneuver some of those things. So those are just a couple of quick use cases. Also, I know we've got some it will tell you if you've got gaps in your project. So it's telling me I've got spaces with nothing in it. I'm going to show you a real quick export because I know there was some people too that were asking if what kind of quality and what it can export as. If you want to have it saved in the clouds, again, saved in OneDrive, quick and easy, put your description there. You can export it and you can change the location too of where you want it to save. So I know for our team that makes a significant difference. And yes, people can edit. So Katie and I are both on this project, and that's where at one point it said she made a change. Really, she was just viewing it. So she made a project, made a quick little tweak, and then it'll refresh with the latest version. So it allows for that multi-collaboration. So on my team, when people are editing a video, if I have feedback, it's really challenging because I'm like, oh, just like the arrange is misspelled, rather than having to export an entire video again and then make that slight change. You just share a link and you can change it that quickly and easily. So great questions and great options. So, okay, ease of use stuff like collaboration. And then that leads us and kind of builds us into Katie's, but I'm just going to make sure. Jason, there is not a desktop app. This is solely browser based. And Office 365 is really focused on browser options. That's just what they're doing with all of their products. So hopefully that makes it easier. It certainly makes it easier for collaboration. Paulette, I think I answered that. I do feel like Clipchamp is much easier to learn. I don't think Camtasia is terrible by any means to learn. I think this just makes it makes it even more simple. It is just a drag and drop principle. And even adding in those transitions, I mean, it's so easy to be able to quickly preview what this even can do. So you can actually preview those transitions and you just drag and drop it. So easy to maneuver around. Okay. Okay, one question here. Can you only share with people to a UTD email? And that is a good question. Right now, the way it is set up for link sharing, it is only for people in UTD. But what you could do is you could download this video, and once you have it, and when it's hosted in Stream or posted elsewhere, then you would be able to share that. But for the collaboration, for the access and the license, somebody would need to be able to edit it using that Clipchamp link. They would have to be at UTD because not everybody has a license to be able to have this. And quick clarification, this is for faculty and staff. It is not available for students. So clarification there. So I know if you have student employees, they may need that access. So, okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Katie, because I know that you've got, I think, the biggest highlight to share and the newest aspect of this, which is text to speech. So y'all, welcome, Katie. Can't wait for you to share.
Hi, y'all. So my name is Katie Willis. I am also part of the Office of Information Technology, and I will be showing you guys the AI version of text to speech. So please give me just a moment while I share my screen with you all. All right. Are you guys able to see this? We're all good? Cool beans. All right, let me make sure my sound is on so you guys can hear the AI speaking. So, one thing, let me just refresh to this. As Amanda mentioned earlier, we do have the capability of collaborating. So let me just refresh so all of the changes she made will be incorporated. So I don't overwrite anything that she said. So we can see all these changes. Wonderful, wonderful. So the first thing I do want to show you guys is that some of the tabs on the left-hand side, Amanda already mentioned, we do have one called Record and Create. So if you select it, you'll see there's a few different options on the left-hand side. As Amanda mentioned earlier, I believe someone asked in the questions, are we able to screen record? And first off, yes, we are. We can record in a different version. So we can do the screen and also yourself with the camera. You could just do yourself with the web camera, or you can do just the screen. which is really helpful if you have those kind of different things you need to be recording or highlighting. One thing I do want to say, which is really cool, is the text-to-speech option. So this is where you can type something out and an AI voice will communicate whatever you wrote out. You might have experienced this in like maybe some Instagram videos. That's really popular, but I think it can be really helpful in, for example, educational purposes. So let me click on the Create Text-to-Speech button, and you will see on your right-hand side this tab opens up. As you can see, there's a variety of different options, so you can kind of change the voice a little bit. You can even change its tone, you can change its speed. So it's really flexible and it's really great to go with. So the first thing I want to show you guys is the language section. So the language section kind of reminds me of a combination of being able to speak in kind of like a native, like let's say you are a professor that is teaching a French class. So you would love to have a person that is speaking in a native French accent. So you can actually change the language to, for example, a French person in France. Or if you want to change it to another section where a space could be speaking French, so let's say Belgium or Canada, I think it's really kind of interesting to kind of change between almost the accents of a native speaker. So for example, let's say we are going to be a French professor. So we selected French. But the big difference with this, I do want to note, is even if you do change the language, it does not translate for you. So it kind of sounds like a person with a French accent is speaking whatever the text you wrote. So for example, if you wrote something in English, it will kind of just sound like somebody is speaking English in a French accent. So before I showcase you an example of this, the next portion is the voice section. So in this drop-down list, you'll see a variety of different people's names, and these are the different options you can pick from. So let's just go with Denise for right now. And again, we are under the French language. So when we hear this voice, it just kind of gives us an example of what we might hear. So because we already selected the French language, the example will be in French. So let's just hear the voice really quick.
Choisissez parmi une variété de voix pour vous aider à créer une histoire qui vaut la peine d'être partagée.
I tried to take French in high school and I passed the class, but I can't remember anything, so I don't know what exactly she said. So, anyway, but let's say we switch back to English in the United States as an example. As you notice, the voice option changed. Whenever you have an option from the language section and you change it, it does automatically switch to an AI voice that accommodates that language. You do have a few options that are multilingual. So there are a few, for example, Andrew multilingual, Ava multilingual. Those can apply to a variety of different languages. But if you scroll down a little bit, you will see the section where it's connected to the language that you selected at the top. So for example, Amber or Anna or Andrew are specifically associated with the English and then the United States accent. So let's go with Ava. And just to see as an example what the English language one sounds like, I'm going to hit hear this voice.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you create a story worth sharing.
There you go. But what's also really, really cool about these language and voice options, you can even go into further detail about changing the settings. So if you select the advanced settings section, you can actually change the vocal pitch. So if we want to talk really low or talk really high, you can actually switch it up. So let's change Ava's to extra high, and let's change the pace or the speed of which she speaks up to 2x. And what's really, really helpful is that these advanced settings will be accommodated in the Hear This Voice demo. So you don't have to write out something preview yet. It's already there and ready to go. So let's listen to Ava with an extra high pitch and 2.0 speed.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you create a story worth sharing.
So it could be a little funny, and it can also be a little scary at times. For example, if you do extra low, and I'm thinking, let's do Andrew. Let's see what this sounds like.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you create a story worth sharing.
It kind of sounds like one of those like spooky October Halloween things come around. Watch out. But yeah, we can also do it very, very slowly. I wouldn't totally recommend this if you're showing this to people because I think they might get a little bored with it, but we can try it out. In just a second.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you.
I won't play it all the way through. We'll be here for like 20 minutes. Anyway, but one thing I do also want to show you, just kind of a little extra thing, is that some of these voices have even more options to change with. So if I believe right, it is Aria. As you notice, the emotion section popped up. It's a little bit different, but I do think it's really helpful when we want to add a little something extra to it. So on theme with Halloween, let's go with Terrified. Let's go default and normal pace and see what she sounds like.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you create a story worth sharing.
She sounds awfully scared. But I think what's really helpful with these kind of different tones, emotions, vocal pitch, and pace is that you can modify it for however you would like, and then whatever best fits whatever you are creating. So if you're doing like a super scary Halloween event recap, maybe you can use the low pitch, kind of slow it down, make it sound really scary. Or if you're getting like really excited, you can switch it to like a cheerful tone, that normal pace. Or what I would like to do right now is I'm going to change it to Anna. And then I'm going to include a section of text. So I went to Copilot and asked Copilot to please create a short story for me. Now, I didn't want any spoilers, so I only included the first paragraph, but it is about my dog Coco and her favorite treat that she wants. So let's say I would like this story to be showcased in this video, and I wanted Anna to voice it. Let's say normal pitch, a normal pace, but I wanted to preview it before I actually put it in because I didn't want to put it into our video and I go, yeah, no, I don't like that, and then move it back. So let's preview it really fast. And the longer
Once upon a time, in a cozy little town, there lived a spirited dog named Coco.
That's really cute. I specifically picked Anna because it sounded like a little girl. Anyway, I do wanted to note that the amount of text you input in the text box, and when you want to hit preview, the length of time it needs to kind of think about itself is based on the length of text that you put in there. That's why I only wanted to include just one paragraph as opposed to the 5 or 6 paragraphs in the full story, because I wanted the preview to be really fast. But let's say you have the whole story and it's great, and you would like to include it in the video itself. All you have to do is make any adjustments you would like, and then you can add save. And as you've noticed, this little part right here, that is our voice to text, or excuse me, text to voice. And it's already included in the our section right here. And I'm just going to drag it to the side so that it doesn't interrupt any of Amanda's items. But once you kind of go over to that section, and again, this white line indicates where we are. As you notice, there aren't any text right here, but if we hit play.
Coco. Coco was a fluffy dog with a nose for adventure and an insatiable love for treats.
It's true. She does love her treats. But yeah, so you can see that the voice or the text to voice is included, but you can't see anything in regards to the text being popped up. That is something we can do with captions, which is really helpful. But I just wanted to kind of emphasize if you wanted, for example, if you're teaching like that French class and you wanted to, if you're showing like beautiful France and you're like, look at this wonderful thing, but you just wanted a voiceover but not text on it, that is an option. All right. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat for me. Amanda does make a good point that there is a limit on how much you can include in the text. It does depend on the language that you selected. Some has a different text amount that can be included versus not. All right. Amanda, do you want to come back on and add anything else that you would like to showcase?
Yeah, I want to share just a couple things. And then there are questions too. Does it work with any browser? It's recommended in Edge because it is a Microsoft product. Does work in other browsers as well. So we've tried several. I can't say that we've tried every browser out there. So feel free to continue to try and test. But yes, it should be working there. I will say that in our testing, Katie and I did find that, again, because it's constantly being enhanced and altered, that some of our preview and some of that experience looked a little bit different. So I wanted to show you the main screen, and I'm going to take over sharing real quick because I know we're running out, but I wanted to share with you, once you are logged into Clipchamp and you do have those videos prepared, it will show you a preview like this, where you're able to pull those videos and make edits accordingly if you wanted to. A new feature that I know faculty had asked for a while back is you are now able to tag those videos. So if there are key components, or maybe it's based on a class or a semester or general content, you're able to tag those and be able to search then by the videos that you create within Clipchamp. And very similarly, you are still able to, just like in Stream, you're able to download that if you did need to be able to have that shareable file. This is really, if you're in that as a collaboration file, this is where you would go. And then we did have a couple of questions. Let's see, auto captions, being able to do that as well. So I'm trying to think. I know I have another video that I don't know that I have spoken words in this one, so to demonstrate it, but it does have auto captions in here. So when you do upload a video, and I've got another one I can pull up just as a sample so you can see what it looks like. You can upload your video that you have audio associated with and be able to transcribe that. And again, lots of language choices if your video is not in English and you need it to transcribe. I'll let it transcribe some. I don't think it's going to generate anything from this one because I didn't have a video of me recorded speaking in this particular example. But if there was, it would transcribe it and they would have the captions here. I'll let that, it looks like it's trying to transcribe some of the, I guess, the music that we had. So here is one that I did upload some information to, and it was able to generate this transcription. And you can choose to then, let's see. Well, this one is not not fully functioning either, but this would be the transcript that you are able to go in and then edit and make those changes to. This was something that we demoed in a different one, but I do appreciate and love that it does those quick captions. If you did view or have access to the Copilot video, we recorded in Camtasia, and I clicked that. Oh, that's one I guess I could show you. I have to remember what project it is, but I clicked that, and I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know if it was this one or a different one. But I clicked that option for the auto captions, and that pulled up in the video, and that's the one that we ended up using. This may not be it, but it was able to do those captions for me automatically and transcribe. And it's great because you could jump into those sections in your video and be able to make those edits live and change that. So for me, this tool, the Clipchamp tool, is far easier to use. It's also got some really cool accessibility features in it that are easier to navigate and to bring to the forefront than something like Camtasia. So I know we have a lot of use cases where being able to generate in either multiple languages or translate could be really helpful. Let's see if this one had, trying to see if this one actually had. Okay, it does have me speaking. So we'll give it a second, see if it's able to do that transcription. But really that brings us to the end of this presentation on Clipchamp. We do want to thank you so much for joining us. If you have questions, we'll continue a couple minutes. We want to allow that time for Q&A. But I hope this will introduce you a little bit to videos and information. I do want to add one more poll to our end here, Blake, if you'll launch the last one, because we're very curious to see how campus is going to leverage this text to audio feature. And that's the poll 4, I believe, Blake, that will show how people might want to use this and being able to use what Katie just demonstrated and make this a more inclusive environment. So if you have a use case for using that text to audio, if you would, go ahead and check those off. You can check off several. I know we have podcasters on campus. We have people concerned with narration or accessibility. So if you see that as a potential use case in any of your videos, if you'll check those and let us know, because then too, as this continues to evolve and transition, we can tailor our content to better serve you and serve campus with these new features. Voiceovers for tutorials. Isn't that great? Then you don't have to listen to your own voice and just be able to have it go through automatically. And narration, I love that. I've seen so many of like the My UTD, like the day in the life, and just being able to add that narration to those videos, I think would add so much value. Okay. And just to let y'all know, we will be sharing a recording of today's session. We do post all of our content on our YouTube channel. Katie, if you can grab that and share that, but any of our former videos as well, if you know somebody that it might be helpful for them to use this tool, feel free to share it with them. We'll post a link in the chat, and then we also have posted in the chat just a quick survey if there's things that you found helpful in this, that you learned, or that you would like to learn in future sessions. We're always open to suggestions. So thank you so much for joining us. And as you become more familiar with this tool, start playing with it. If you do have any additional questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out. Just remember, our goal is to help support you as we learn and navigate new technology. We are here to help. Thank y'all.